Hi guys and welcome back. Today we'll be discussing the Paramo Enduro. Okay, so before we get onto the jacket itself, let's just have a chat about Paramo for anyone who's not familiar with the brand. Paramo was formed in 1992 by Nick Brown. This is the same guy that founded Knitwax a few years earlier. Many of us will know Knitwax for their reproofing sprays and also their cleaners for technical clothing, down jackets and also boots. Paramo is an incredibly ethical brand. All of their garments are made in fair trade factories and it's 100% fair trade guaranteed. They will also fully recycle these jackets once you've finished using them. So if you found your jackets worn out after a number of years of good use and you don't want to throw it away, but it's also no good to you, you can send it back to Paramo and they will recycle it for you, which is awesome. There's no waste from the jacket itself. So one of the things that helps Paramo stand out from the rest is they don't use a waterproof membrane in their jackets. There's no sort of physical barrier here to stop the water getting through. Instead, they use a concept called directionality. So directionality is based off of mammal's fur, and underneath this outer fabric, which is used to deflect wind and rain, is something they call a pump liner. And what a pump liner is lots and lots of microscopic hairs. So you've got the really short, densely packed ones at the bottom, and above that you've got some slightly longer ones as well. We'll show you a video just next to this of how it works and the diagram of how that looks. And what that does is the short hairs at the bottom, when water falls on it, it helps move that water away from the body, so it moves out towards the longer hairs, which then carry the water off and away, and then it allows it to evaporate and move away from the jacket. So what's so good about this and why it's different to a physical barrier is it allows more breathability, for one, so there's no physical barrier stopping air flowing through the jacket, but it also helps move both water vapor and also liquid water away from the jacket, so it's less likely to crumble when it's been used in very heavy wet conditions for a long period of time. So we've all heard of the subject of wetting out. This jacket, because of the way it works and the way it deals with liquid water, it's less likely to do that. Also, water is less likely to sit on the surface and freeze, so if you're using these jackets in cold conditions, it's a much better system for that with your hard shells, because it doesn't handle sort of liquid water on the surface very well. You'll notice that it will freeze on top, so this jacket doesn't have that issue. So now we've chatted about Paramo as a brand, let's move on to the Enduro Jacket. This is a really awesome jacket, it has lots of really good features, and what we'll do is we'll go through them steadily now. We'll start with the most obvious, which is the zips and the pockets. So you've obviously got your main zip all the way down the front. On the top of this you have a flick down grab holder. So this is obviously a jacket that's designed to be used in cold conditions. In cold conditions you're likely to be wearing gloves. So what this does, it gives you a nice big surface to grip onto and pull down on. But when you're not using it, you can clip it up like so. And then it doesn't make any noise, it's not going to rattle and it's not going to irritate you. Also, if it's in windy conditions, it's less likely to blow up and hit you, especially if it's up nice and high and you're covering your face. There's obviously a chance for a long zip tassel to whip you in the face, which is never a nice experience. So what you can do is clip that up, completely removes that issue, and it's nice and sleek and compact as well up there. It's nice and easy to do. And then if you need it, simply pull down and you've got access to your zip. Moving on, we are met with a number of pockets. All the pockets are slightly different. So at the bottom here we have two hip pockets. And what Paramo have done is they've moved them up a little bit higher. This jacket is also designed to be used with a harness, so what they've done is made sure the pockets are accessible either with a harness on. So the pockets have been moved up, so that's the bottom of the pocket just there, and as you can see the material there is quite a bit below it. Obviously your harness would sit around here, you'd still have full access to your pockets. On top of that you're met with a lapel pocket, which is just here. This is easily big enough for a map, you'll fit a map in here no problem. And on all of these pockets you're met with these awesome little zips. So in the upward position you can separate the pocket nice and easily. If you wanted to, you could grab here, pull down and the pocket will just open. If you zip it back up but push the zip to the bottom here, that zip completely locks. That zip won't work its way open. So if you've got any valuables on you, if you're keeping anything you 100% can't lose, it's a really good place to put them. Pop those zips into the downward position and there's no chance that zip is going to work its way open and you're going to lose what's inside. On the other breast, you've also got a quick access pocket, and what this is a Velcro pocket, so it's still completely secure and you can still keep things in it, but it's much easier to get into than your zip. You can just pull it open and have whatever you want in here. Paramo recommend you keep a compass in here, and that's what this little hoop is for. So you can actually tie your compass onto that, slide it into the pocket. You're not going to lose it. If it manages to work its way out, it's not going to drop on the floor and you're not going to leave it behind. So you attach it to that loop, slide it into the pocket, nice and easy, nice and quick to get to. And then on the sleeve here is another pocket, and this is designed for a ski pass. So if you're going skiing, this is where you keep your ski pass. It's nice and easy to get to, it's the perfect size for it. You could keep other things in here as well. It's not a massive pocket, but you might be able to get your car keys in there or an ID if that's what you're going to be carrying with you. But on the inside of the jacket you are also met with the internal pocket, which is just here. Perfect for keeping the essentials, so mobile phone, keys, debit or credit card, or maybe your ID. Moving up to the shoulders, we are met with 180 degrees of articulation, which means there's lots and lots of freedom of movement in this jacket. It's obviously made to be doing activities in it, such as ice climbing, so you need that freedom of movement, and this jacket certainly doesn't restrict you in any way. Working our way across the shoulders and down to the back, we're met with a reinforced fabric. This is in case you're wearing a heavy rucksack for multiple days at a time, so this slightly more durable material helps stop wear. It'll help the jacket last a bit longer, and it won't sort of degrade as quickly, especially if you've got those heavy straps. Keep rubbing on there. There's a lot of friction points. Obviously, when you're wearing a rucksack, there is a chance of that will wear a lot quicker. So they put a more durable material up there that comes down the back and also just around the hip here, obviously for your hip belts and also where your harness will sit as well, which is really nice. So they're helping this jacket last a really nice long time. While we're talking about climbing, we've also got a helmet compatible hood. So the hood is completely compatible with a large helmet. You can put the hood over the top of the helmet and still be safe underneath. But if you're not wearing a helmet, it's completely adjustable. You've got two toggle strings on the front here, one on the back, and you can adjust the hood to fit you perfectly so it doesn't blow off in the wind, which we all know can be irritating. Moving down to the sleeves, we're met with a nice Velcro cuff. So because this jacket's made for climbing, these sleeves are a little bit longer than you necessarily need them. So you can Velcro them to where it's the perfect length and then secure them. This means that when you're climbing or even cycling, if you're going to use this jacket for other things as well as your sort of outdoor pursuits, when you extend your arms either up or out to the front, the sleeve isn't going to ride up your arm. So that's why they give you a little bit of extra length, just to stop that jacket riding up when you're using it for any sort of outdoor activities. Another thing to mention on Paramo is their ventilation. So on both arms here you have what we would describe as a pit zip. This can be found just under the arm here. It's not directly under the armpit like a lot of other jackets are, but in front instead is on the front, and that's to help as you're moving forward obviously catch the air and bring the air into the body, and then it bellows, which moves the air around the body and cools you down. This has got one of these lock safe zips on it, so it won't work its way open if you want to keep the warm air in, but if you want to open, it opens a really nice long way. It's a really big opening. If I put my hand up the sleeve here, you'll be able to see it's a lovely big opening here. It goes straight through to the pump liner underneath, so this is the liner that helps move the water away from your body, which is really cool to see. And you have that on both sides, so it's really going to help with ventilation, also circulating cooler air around the body. Because of the way these jackets are designed, they do insulate you quite well, so although you've got that really good bit of ventilation, if you're in a cold climate, this will keep you a little bit warmer than your average hard shell as well, which is really cool. And then finally, we should talk about the fit. So with Paramo's jacket here, the Enduro, they decided to go for a more active fit. And what that means is, although you've got all this around the shoulders, it does taper off towards the bottom. The reason they do this is so there's not lots of loose fabric around you. It's nice and tapered, so you don't have lots of loose fabric when you're putting a harness on as well. But what they have done is add a 2-inch drip skirt to the back of this. So the back of the jacket hangs down just below the line of your trousers, a little bit longer than some of their other jackets, and stops any water runoff going either down your trousers or dripping straight down the back of your legs, which is really nice to see. It's another thing keeping this jacket really comfortable, and that's very much Paramo's aim with their jackets is comfort, breathability, and obviously weatherproofing. So that was a really quick look at the main features on the Paramo jacket. If you've got any others you'd like us to answer questions about, we've obviously got the comment section below, and we do check that daily, so we'll be able to answer any of your questions nice and quickly. What we can move on to now is obviously the ethics. We mentioned these at the beginning, we'll just give you a quick reminder. This jacket is 100% recyclable, so you can, once you're finished with it, if you get a good number of really hard years out of this jacket, you decide you want to either upgrade or get a new one, you can send it back to Paramo. They'll fully recycle it and there's absolutely no waste. All these jackets are obviously manufactured in fair trade factories as well, so it's 100% fair trade guaranteed, which is really good to see. So the next thing to talk about is obviously how to maintain and clean your jacket. It's not something we speak about a lot, but it's really, really important to maintain your jacket's waterproofing. So you want to be washing and reproofing this jacket on a regular basis. Obviously when you do it, very much depends on how much you use the jacket. If this jacket is popped away for special occasions, say when you're going out for a long walk on the moors, or you're doing a multi-day trek across Scotland or in the Highlands, and not much else is not usually used throughout the year, then you're obviously washing this a lot less. If you're using this on a semi-regular basis, whether that's for walking the dog, because you use this jacket for everything you're doing, from walking the dog to your mountaineering in Scotland, then you're obviously going to wash this and reproof it a little bit more often. I would say every couple of weeks you want to be reproofing this jacket, and if you're not using it very much, obviously every couple of really long, hardy walks you do, you want to be giving this jacket a wash. The reason we do that is just to keep it working at its optimal amount, so it removes any contamination, anything that might be blocking up the fibres in the jacket and stopping that directionality working its magic. If you get a really big stain on this or a really big area of contamination, you can post it back to Paramo and they will do a special clean for you. It does cost a little bit extra, but obviously if it's your jacket on the line, it's definitely worth doing. And we recommend you use nip wax with these products. It's the perfect product. You put this in the cleaner and then in the reproofer as well, and your jacket will come out looking brand new. So that was a really quick look at the Paramo Enduro, covering the ethics and also how to care for it as well. If you've got any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. If not, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate any support you give us, and hitting subscribe really helps us produce these videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.